Are these some of the very first transactions on the XRPL for real estate investment?
Yes, sir.
DeRE allows anyone to become a property owner in minutes, not months, and I can prove it on my own. I went through the whole process myself.
DRI is all about tokenizing assets, and really what that means is it makes real estate properties accessible to everyone. Instead of needing thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to get started in real estate, now you only need a fraction of that by investing in tokens. It's that kind of generational wealth building that was not available to me, needing millions and millions of dollars to do anything. And now on Decentralized Real Estate, you can get started with just hundreds of dollars.
Everybody needs housing, but unfortunately, Brendan, in this world, not everyone can afford it.
We use Palisade, and they really developed this multi-party computational wallet architecture so that the secret keys are distributed across multiple different nodes. Everyone out there listening, don't miss your chance to own and participate in one of the first real-world asset tokenizations on the XRPL in the United States.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another thought-provoking interview. Today, I'm joined by a visionary leader from DeRE, or Decentralized Real Estate, a first-of-its-kind blockchain-powered platform, making real estate investing faster, easier, and much more accessible. DeRE allows anyone to become a property owner in minutes, not months, and I can prove it on my own. I went through the whole process myself. But today, I am joined by the co-founder of DeRE, that's Brendan Burke. Let's bring him up on the stage. Brendan is, before we kick things off, Brendan, because I want to know how you're doing in your neck of the woods, but let me first give you a brief and much needed introduction, sir. When you're not disrupting real estate investment with your intuitive, sleek application, during your time off, you're also at the helm of data center operation as a manager at AWS with a background in entrepreneurship and computer science from San Jose. Brendan is a passionate pioneer of DAOs and real-world asset tokenization, which is why he aims to blend legacy real estate operations with blockchain innovation. Brendan, I'm excited to have you here, sir. How did I do? How you doing?
Well, I'm excited to be here. Thank you for that glowing introduction, Ray. Thank you so much.
I'm here for that, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I've been a huge fan for a long time, and I'm very excited to be here and show you what we're working on at Decentralized Real Estate and how we're building on the XRP Ledger to really tokenize assets across the world and democratize this historically exclusive asset. So thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. And I appreciate it. Let's kick things off. What's DRI platform all about and your vision for the firm?
DRI is all about tokenizing assets. And really what that means is it makes real estate properties accessible to everyone. Instead of needing thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to get started in real estate, now you only need a fraction of that by investing in tokens. And so tokens, you can think of them as fractions or shares. And being on the XRP Ledger, they're instantly transferable. This unlocks liquidity in an asset class that's typically extremely hard to sell. Usually it takes months to procure a real estate agent and list on the MLS and find a buyer and go through the closing process. And so what's great about DeRE is once it's on the platform, anyone can buy and sell those tokens in an instant instead of months. So another thing that the XRP Ledger and our platform really facilitates is property DAOs. And so this allows people to collectively manage these assets through blockchain-based voting.
Kudos to you guys for being what I believe is the first of its kind platform for the XRP Ledger. I want to know, what was the inspiration for DeRE? What type of gaps are you trying to fill in the market?
So the inspiration behind Decentralized Real Estate was growing up in California and going to school at San Jose State. The real estate industry in that area was just so elusive. Properties are millions of dollars, and that was unattainable for anyone in my position and with my background. And it's like, what can we do together? I'm always trying to figure out things that me and my friends and my community can do to get ahead. And majority of millionaires in this country and really the world got their wealth through real estate. It's that kind of generational wealth building that was not available to me, needing millions and millions of dollars to do anything. And now on Decentralized Real Estate, you can get started with just hundreds of dollars and really start that building that nest egg.
Per my experience making my very first investment on DeRE's platform, I actually did it for even less than $100. I bought one fractionalized piece of real estate on your platform, or one DRI DAO token representing the residential piece that I invested in. And the total amount, including taxes and fees, came out to being less than $20, which really highlights your mission to further democratize access to an everyday investor worldwide. To that point, are you guys only operational in the US?
Yeah, that's where we're launching, but looking to be operational globally, have properties around the globe that are available. I think it's a good segue into kind of our vision for the next 3 to 5 years. And so right now we're launching the MVP. It has the basic, you can buy, sell, be very secure. Really, we're working on a decentralization of tasks. And so tasks and bounties, you see this on our roadmap, tasks and bounties that really facilitate the participatory decision making of those DAOs. Right on our platform, you can vote on property decisions. And you took the checkout earlier and bought a token. What did you think of the management questionnaire?
One, I thought it was very interesting, a great opportunity to be able to survey your customer base at that point in time of the transaction process. Obviously, when it's complete, the survey process was seamless. Are these some of the very first transactions on the XRPL for real estate investment?
Yes, sir. Yeah, especially here in the United States. There's a couple other projects that are getting close and maybe have some, but definitely one of, if not the first, real world asset tokenization on the XRPL here in the United States. Yeah, that management survey is really the first step on a user or a member, a new member of a property DAO, their first step to voicing their opinions and actually managing that asset. After that, there's the ability for them to actually participate and collaborate with other members of that DAO and decide on things like, should we sell this asset? Should we do some renovations and for some appreciation? Should we go look for some debt to further leverage our capital here? Anything and everything that has to do with real estate investing will be facilitated through tasks and bounties and through voting on the blockchain on our platform. What you're doing is you're joining a DAO, you're joining a company, you're joining a company on the blockchain that is it's a legal entity. It's a Wyoming DAO LLC. Wyoming has the most protections under state law for DAOs. And so when we go and register a new DAO LLC, we actually put the contract, the wallet address with the Secretary of State. When we register that, we give it to the Secretary of State. So they know this wallet address is this DAO. And then they can see all the transactions. So they're probably not going to look at the transactions, but it's really a legally binding DAO contract that even if DRI is not around anymore, you still have ownership of this, and it's on the XRP Ledger. It's not going anywhere. It's immutable. It's recoverable as well.
I'm sure you guys have to jump through hoops on the back end in order to facilitate those seamless transaction and satisfy all the boxes on a compliance front. Do you mind talking about that?
Yeah, so we actually have a full checklist that we've developed with our law firm. When someone joins the platform, they go through KYC. We use that to perform anti-money laundering checks, which ensures there's no bad actors. And if someone does slip through the cracks, we do have the ability to freeze their account and claw back any damage that they've done. And when someone joins a property, they sign the operating agreement, which is a joinder agreement to that DAO LLC operating agreement, making them a full managing member. And so in that operating agreement, it lines out what they have to do and the responsibilities that they are required to do and membership requirements, which are going through the KYC and participating and XYZ. Definitely review it, of course, just like you're signing a partnership agreement with a few friends that you're investing in real estate with. We use a CPA firm to distribute K1s, which are for real estate distributions at the end of the year. We've done a bunch of research and a bunch of infrastructure on the legal side to make sure that this is fully compliant and really the accredited versus non-accredited investor. And so I guess going back to what my inspiration and our inspiration for starting this is people like me weren't able to fork over tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars to go invest in real estate. We weren't accredited investors, so we couldn't go join a typical syndications. And so really the difference between the need for being accredited and not accredited isn't the Howey test, is a security. And so am I giving someone money with the expectation of return from the efforts of others? And so being a member and a managing member and someone that must participate in the management of this property means you're a managing member and you're not getting returns from the work of others, but you are actually putting in that work to get the return.
Now, I noticed when I created an account that the wallet selection offered one, that of Zaman, which is obviously known within the XRP community, but then also there was the MPC wallet, a multi-party computation, which was also preloaded with enough XRP to meet the reserve requirements. Do you mind explaining why the DRE team made the decision to automate the onboarding process to already account for the reserve requirements?
Yeah, absolutely. So we wanted to make it as seamless as possible to get onto the platform and interact with the properties that we have available. And that means having two different wallet selection options. So you can either bring your own Zaman wallet and connect it just like you would any other Zaman wallet to adapt, or you can choose a DRE wallet, which is spun up right on our platform. We use Palisade, which uses, and they really developed this multi-party computational wallet architecture so that the secret keys are distributed across multiple different nodes. This makes your wallet super secure, and it also provides that institutional custody so that you can't lose access to those keys because they're distributed. So in case traditionally you might lose your secret keys and then your tokens are gone, you can't find them again. Especially why we did that. And we wanted to fund those accounts so that they're already activated. This means you don't have to procure XRP and transfer it to that wallet in order to participate on our platform.
Very thoughtful. I think that's the perfect decision for onboarding the next million, billion users. So kudos to you and the team. Eliminating any type of friction point is quite the feat, especially if we're talking about onboarding the next wave of users into this new Web3 world.
When we look at who is using our platform, we segment them into two different people. It's crypto natives and non-crypto natives. So crypto natives, they're people that are very well in tune with the crypto and DeFi movement. They're familiar with using a Zaman wallet and storing their own keys and doing swaps and all these different things that you can do in the DeFi space. But then the non-crypto natives are people that are brand new to this. They almost don't even know what a token is or what a blockchain is. They might have heard about it, but they definitely can't articulate what it is. And being a real estate platform, a lot of real estate investors have never used or know much about blockchain. So we really want to lower those barriers and get more people onto the blockchain and onto the XRP Ledger, and really harnessing the power of tokenization to increase the liquidity of real estate assets and lower those barriers to entry.
Moving on, I want to know more about your thoughts on how you guys choose the properties that are coming onto the platform. What's the process? Is there any due diligence involved? How do these new properties make it onto the DRE platform?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Tons of due diligence. So I myself am a real estate broker in Washington State, and I also own properties in Ohio, which is where the first one is. So I have a good understanding of underwriting and doing due diligence. And so this one that we're raising for right now, 812 Cling Street, looked around for a while, found some assets, vetted them, did the underwriting, did the market analysis, made the offer, did some negotiations with the seller, and then got it inspected.
Now, let's talk about the DAO tokens, if you don't mind. We did talk about governance. What other types of utility does a DRE DAO token holder receive in addition to those benefits that have already been discussed?
Yeah, DAO tokens are the representation of ownership in that DAO LLC. The DAO LLC, each one solely owns one property, one company. 10,000 is really the number we're going to use for most of them, unless the situation permits more or less. Think of 10,000 DAO tokens. People purchase those DAO tokens and join this DAO. They're entitled of all the rights and obligations of a member in that company. And that means ownership percentage in the asset, the rights to the rental income distribution according to that ownership percentage, the obligation to vote, and your voting power is weighted by your ownership percentage. You're entitled to the full kind of pros and cons of owning real estate. It might be a glorified industry sometimes, but there's a lot of upside to real estate investing. As we were developing this model and thinking, what are all the things needed to actually do this at scale on the blockchain? We actually were like, okay, we're actually going to make a different platform altogether. We call it Open Govern. And it has a lot of similarities to what we put together here. But really, it was a way to decentralize any organization and do the task and bounties, raise money for different things, distribute money for different things, have that logical record of everything going on. And so it was a huge undertaking. And we started down that road, and really our goal is to get DRE to launch. That might be further down the road where you can open source and crowdsource everything that you might want to do, from city governance to HOA governance to business governance. But I will say it's a little bit of an experiment to the same point. You got to get the buy-in. You got to, as many benefits as it has, it's so different from what's being done currently.
How does DRE's business model compare to traditional real estate investment trusts or the modern day crowdfunding platforms? Because I know that there is some competition today. How do you guys compare yourself at DRE to what's already in the market?
Yeah, absolutely. So real estate investment trusts, they're very centralized. They're registered with the SEC and they're publicly traded. They're essentially give this centralized company some money. They'll go invest it for you in real estate and you'll own part of this large portfolio. It's very hands off. You don't really know what you own. You don't have any involvement in owning them. You're not really investing in real estate, although you're getting exposure to the real estate market. And yeah, there is some competition in the space in the fractionalized real estate ownership. And so really what sets us apart, one, XRP Ledger being built on something that's instantly transferable and an institutional grade tokenization platform is one. And two is the participation. So really you are investing in an asset. You go and you look at all the due diligence documents and you participate in the due diligence and you work with this community to go find more deals and fundraise for more deals. And really anything is possible on our platform. Fix and flips, buy and holds, even like potentially say rental arbitrage or something. As long as the offering is clear and the community is clear on what they're doing, really the sky's the limit.
Very cool. Now, you struck a chord with me as far as DeRE having been built on the XRP Ledger. Now, when interacting with DeRE's decentralized real estate platform, it's just like interacting with any other website, having gone through the process. So, what role does the XRP Ledger actually play within your business model? Is this having to provide backend support with the transactional process? In what capacity is the XRPL supporting DeRE's operations?
Yeah, good question. In a lot of capacities, actually. So it's the fundamental way we tokenize the assets. And when a new property comes onto the platform, we create an XRPL account for it and we create an NFT of that property, really encapsulating that property's details, the legal description, and how many bedrooms, bathrooms, address, all these things into an NFT that lives on the XRP ledger. And then the DAO tokens are minted on the XRP ledger into its own token. And then when voting is done, those votes are on the XRP ledger and they're attached to that top level XRPL account for that property. And there's this very clear logical record that this property came from DREDAO.com and all the different things and all the different transactions, token minting, NFT minting, all these things. Very clear logical record. And that it doesn't stop there. The e-signature, we actually mint an NFT that represents that e-signature. We upload the document to the IPFS and we create an NFT that represents that. And on the checkout, that's actually how we facilitate the payments of things that are not XRP or RLUSD, because that's a native function of tokens on the XRP ledger is that you can swap XRP for those tokens. But to facilitate the payment of things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polygon, Solana, USDC, or fiat through credit card payments, debit card payments, or bank account wiring or ACH, we actually create an NFT receipt of how many tokens someone is buying. And then once the payment is made, you actually swap that receipt for your DAO token. Really, every facet of the operations and getting properties on the XRP ledger and facilitating the transfer of those tokens is on the XRP ledger. And it's really integral to our platform. So thanks for the question.
Hey, no, thank you. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to be one of the very first token holders or investors of this revolutionary technological advancement. So as for me, it's more of a little trophy above my fireplace or on the mantle to document my XRPL journey. So thank you, Brendan, again for the opportunity. What would be a great message to leave with those that are first-time real estate investors who may feel uncertain about stepping into blockchain-based property investment?
Yeah, that's a good question. One of the sayings in real estate is do your own due diligence. And I highly encourage everyone to do their own due diligence. So take a look at the neighborhood and the property, anything that's on our platform. You should also look at on Zillow and Google and all the different places you can look at it. We do give everything due diligence wise that we've done and we've looked at, from the underwriting that's available right on the platform, the purchase and sale contract that's available at the bottom. You see all the documents. What you're buying is tokens. It's equity in a real estate asset. Everyone needs housing, especially nowadays in this tariff war and tumultuous times. Everybody still needs housing, even if the market value might stay stagnant, or the rents will still come in.
Everybody needs housing, but unfortunately, Brendan, in this world, not everyone can afford it. And because of the opportunity that DRE is providing to everyday investors, I believe it's giving them a great shot and fighting chance to build a sound real estate investment portfolio. Is there any final comments that you'd like to share or anything top of mind before we close this interview down?
I think we've been pretty comprehensive. I
Good.
just want to do a shout out. 812 Cling Street. It's a duplex in Akron, Ohio. Purchase price 146,000. Rents are 2,100. Pretty good cash flow. Projected cap rate's about 10%. But yeah, you can see it here. You scroll down, here's the property description and the underwriting. So you can see all the different things about the total investment, any equity and debt terms, all the projected metrics. So you have your gross rental yield, your cap rate, your cash flow. You also see pictures and an underwriting explanation in the description. And then you see all your due diligence documents. So go check it out. If you have any issues or questions, please reach out to the team. Our contact information is on the website and on the application. Happy to answer any questions and talk to anyone who is interested.
All right. Thank you, Brendan. This has been a very productive conversation and an exciting one as well. I'm very thankful that you stopped by to share DRE with my community. And I'm extremely excited to have been able to own some of the very first RWA tokens to be distributed on the XRPL. So again, this is just a great opportunity. Is there anything top of mind or anything final that you'd like to say before I let you go, sir?
Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for participating on the marketplace. And everyone out there listening, don't miss your chance to own and participate in one of the first real world asset tokenizations on the XRPL in the United States. So thank you so much.
Wow.